Hi there, Working Homeschool Mom. This is Charlotte Jones from My Little Homeschool and Charlotte Jones 24/7. And this is episode number 52 of the Strike a Balance podcast for Working Homeschool Moms. And today I'm talking about productivity. As working homeschool moms, time is our most precious resource, so it's really important to use it in the best way possible. So I hope that with this episode, you'll find some tips and strategies for making the most of the time that you have available to you. Before we get to the episode, I would be ever so grateful if you could rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It just takes a few minutes and it really helps to show the podcast to more working homeschool moms so that I can help them and support them on their working homeschool mom journey. Thank you so much. Hello and welcome to the Strike a Balance podcast for working homeschool moms. This is Charlotte Jones. I'm a homeschool coach and homeschooling mom of twin boys. I know it can feel really overwhelming to keep all the balls in the air all the time. So each week I chat about tips and strategies for being a happy and thriving working homeschool mom that you can implement in your life too. I also speak to awesome and inspiring women who manage to juggle homeschooling and work successfully and find out what their secrets are. Be sure to check out my time audit and mindset challenge in the show notes and sign up to my newsletter for lots of cool freebies. And if you ever need to chat, please book in a session with me. I'm so excited for you to be here and I hope you'll get so much value out of this episode. So let's get started. Are you looking for a new math curriculum? Well, I'm thrilled to introduce our favorite math curriculum to you. CTCMath specializes in providing online video tutorials that take a multi-sensory approach to learning. Favorably reviewed in Cathy Duffy's 102 Top Picks and the Old Schoolhouse Crew Review, the lessons are short and concise to help your children break down concepts and appreciate math in a whole new way. The lessons are taught the traditional way and not to a test. Each one of the video tutorials is taught by an internationally acclaimed teacher, Pat Murray, who is renowned for teaching math concepts in a simple, easy to understand way and in only a few minutes at a time. Using a multi-sensory approach means having the combination of effective graphics and animation synchronized with the voice of a friendly teacher together with a practical assessment. This three-pronged attack makes learning so much easier and more effective. Even students who struggled with math are getting fantastic results, and ones who were doing okay before are now doing brilliantly. Visit ctcmath.com today to start your free trial. CTC Maths is generously offering my listeners an amazing special. Go to www.ctcmath.com/MLH to get a half-price discount plus a bonus 6 months for free. That's ctcmath.com/MLH. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 helpful productivity tips for moms who homeschool and work. I recently did a poll on the Working Homeschool Mom support group, my private group on Facebook, and most of the moms said that they had issues with time management. And one particular thing that stood out was that they were wasting time on things that didn't serve them. So time is our most valuable resource, and that's why we have to become masters at making the most of it. So in this episode, I hope that these 5 productivity tips will help you to feel more in control of your time and to get more done. The first tip is to start with your priorities and goals. I speak about priorities and goals a lot, and I know I sound like a broken record, but they are so important when it comes to time management because you will always find time for what's important to you. So I suggest doing this exercise before you embark on any changes in your life because it will help you to make the right decisions and will give you a clear path forward. This is one element of my time management course for working homeschool moms, but you can easily figure it out on your own. You can take a pad and a pen, just spend some time quietening your mind so that you can see what's really in your heart, and then write down your values and your goals. Once you've identified them, you need to make sure that they're always top of mind. It's a good idea maybe to read them every week or to have them somewhere where you can see them and use them as a metrics when you need to make decisions. So let me give you a simple example. Let's say one of your values is fostering loving relationships, trust, and connection with your family. So your goal is to have a family movie night every week. You've scheduled 2 hours in on a Sunday, and a family member asks you to do something for them on Sunday during that time. You decline because it's your sacred family movie night. So making the decision was easy because you know what your values and your goals are. So how does this actually relate to productivity? Well, it helps you to get rid of things in your schedule that don't serve you. It helps you to set boundaries around your time and around what matters to you. And you'll definitely be much more motivated and therefore productive when it comes to doing tasks because they'll be important to you. They'll matter to you. The second tip is to simplify your life as much as possible. Simplicity is a wonderful thing and it really works. And that's why there's so many decluttering shows and life hack posts around the internet. I adore watching those. I'm not sure if you do as well. And the reason why they're so popular is because they do save you time and stress. Well, the ones that work anyway. Some of those life hacks are a bit dubious, let's be honest. So what are some ways that you can simplify your life and how does it actually relate to productivity? As you can imagine, there are lots of ways that you can make your life simpler, but I'll just give you a few ideas to get you started. First of all, you need mindfulness to identify what needs to be simplified. First, this is the very important first step in simplifying your life. It's hard to identify areas in your life when you're rushing around like a headless chicken. So schedule in some time to be still and present, and you'll be able to see where you're getting stuck. We all have that instinct. We know which areas in our lives need to be changed, but sometimes we are just too overcome by everything that has to be done in the day to actually see what they are. So once you've figured out what needs to change, now you can start thinking about ways to make it happen. For the best chance at a sustainable change, be sure to break down your big goals into smaller, more manageable steps. So let me give you another example once again. We all know that decluttering is a great way to simplify, but decluttering your whole house and life can feel really overwhelming. So let's break it down into smaller steps. First of all, you need to identify all the areas you need to declutter. You can break it down into rooms or areas in your life or however feels the most natural to you or makes the most sense. Then you break down these things into specific things within each area, and then you schedule in some time every day to declutter. And if you have lots of time available, try and keep it to a manageable amount of time, like 15 to 20 minutes. It may take some time to get through everything, but if you consistently spend time every day, you'll get through the list without even breaking a sweat. And you might find that you can increase the time as you get used to decluttering and as it becomes easier. Once again, you may ask why I would include simplification in my productivity tips. When your life is simplified, it means that you can use your time more effectively. With a decluttered house, cleaning, finding things, they just become much easier and you save time. When you have simple but tested routines, systems, and processes, you also save time because they make sense and because they're sustainable. And by simplifying how you dress, for example, what you eat, you also save time. You take away the stress and the mental load that's associated with choosing outfits or what to eat. You get the idea. So find those places that are draining your time because they're difficult and messy and simplify them. My third tip is to do one thing at a time. Multitasking is bad for you. Science says so, and it definitely doesn't help with productivity either, but doing one thing at a time does. Your productivity is going to soar when you give all your attention to one single task. When you eliminate distractions, and I know this is easier said than done, you use your whole big, beautiful brain on the task at hand. And this is productivity central. So there are lots of things that you can do to increase this concentration. Firstly, I just have to say it does take practice, but after a few difficult and maybe even uncomfortable sessions, you'll get better at it for sure. Any new activity or habit is hard until it isn't. You could, for example, use the Pomodoro technique to make the most of your time. This means working for 25 minutes, then taking a 5-minute break, and doing this for 4 sessions and then taking a longer break. You could put your phone in another room or switch it to do not disturb, like I do when I do the podcast. This will help you to minimize being distracted. Do the tough jobs when you feel the most energized. This will help you to concentrate and you'll be less likely to procrastinate. So for me, I need to clean or work out in the morning. These are my high energy times, and I can write and create content much easier when I'm warmed up, which is usually by the afternoon. Tip number 4 is to do the same things together. Much like doing one thing at a time, doing the same kinds of things together also helps with productivity. So batching and blocking are great tools for getting more done in the day. When you batch all the same things together, it means you save all the time needed to transition from one activity to another. This may not sound like a huge time saver, but it's been proven that it takes our brains a while to get into gear for something new, and all those 5-10 minutes will add up very quickly. You save both the time it takes to move from one area or task to another, plus the mental load it takes to start concentrating again. I found a very nice article that Asana had for how to batch things. Just Google batching things and you will find lots of information about it. And you'll soon discover that it's really easy and also really, really effective. So block scheduling is another way to up your productivity, and it works really well with batching. So basically you allocate blocks of time to certain tasks in the day. You could create blocks for working out or cooking. And then within that time, you have a structured flexibility to do what you can within the allocated time. But just be sure to take into account Parkinson's law with block scheduling. So Parkinson's law is an axiom that states work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. And that's a quote from Very Well Mind. I've got a very interesting article about it. So a potential pitfall with block scheduling is that you'll take all the time you have available to do just one thing. It's very important to know how long something takes to complete. So if you've done my time audit, you'll have a better idea of this. You could also use a timer to see how long something takes. This information is really going to help you to manage your time in the best way possible. And my final tip is to get organized. Getting organized has to be in my top 5 productivity tips for moms who work and homeschool, because I can guarantee you that chaos can never be your friend. It does not help with productivity. Once again, there are lots and lots of things that you can do to get organized. This will depend on where you're getting stuck and what's draining your productivity. So just a few ideas to get you started. Batch cooking, so you can save time, stress, and the mental load that comes from thinking about what to feed your family. I have a very nice podcast episode, the one before this, with Melissa Brander, about making meal times a breeze. It's really worth it to listen. Clean up your computer so that everything is in a folder and you can find what you're looking for instead of searching around for everything. Strip down your homeschool supplies and organize them in a way that means they're easy to use and won't cause mess. And do laundry every single day so that it never piles up to amounts that are depressing and overwhelming. So these are just a few ideas. There are loads of ways that you can get more organized, and it's really worth it to find the ways that you can, because an organized life is definitely a productive one. Once again, I would say it can take time and it can take effort at the beginning, but it's worth it to find out how you can be more organized and therefore more productive. So my final thoughts on productivity tips for moms who work and homeschool. The productivity tips I mentioned above are pretty general. Productivity is going to look different to you because your values, your goals, and reality are different. But at the end of the day, it's worth it to try out some of these ideas and methods, because just imagine what you'll be able to achieve with more hours in the day. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. Drop me a DM on Instagram or post on the Working Homeschool Moms support group over on Facebook, and let me know what resonated the most with you. It would also be great if you could rate, review, and subscribe, or share the podcast with a working homeschool mom who might need it. It's my mission to support as many working homeschool moms as possible. Until next time, take care. Hi there, working homeschool mom. This is Charlotte Jones from My Little Homeschool and Charlotte Jones 24/7. And this is episode number 52 of the Strike a Balance podcast for working homeschool moms.